Hello students, today we are going to read the poem Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Before we go further into the chapter, let us learn a little about Robert Frost. Robert Frost is a very important American poet. He is one of the best poets of the modern literature. You have also read many poems by Robert Frost. Already you have read many poems by Robert Frost. Recently you read the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost. Last year you read the poem The Road Not Taken, and I'm sure all of you must have read the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. So let us come to the poem Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice. I'll read the poem first. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish choice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So this is a very different kind of poetry by Robert Frost. It is not his characteristic poem. Why? Because he talks about ways to improve our life. He talks about morality that will make us beautiful. But here he is talking about something very strange. He is talking about the destruction of the world. Now, when Robert Frost was writing, so many geographical discoveries, so many scientific discoveries, geographical of course, but yes, scientific development was happening, and people were talking about, the earth, the universe, and they started to realize that there are two possible ways in which the earth can be destroyed. Now you all have heard about the supernova explosion. That is one hypothesis, that is one way in which the world can be destroyed. If it happens, the earth will be, engulfed by the dying sun, and there will be a supernova explosion, and the sun and the fire will destroy everyone. The fire will destroy the world, and the world will end. And then there is another idea that the earth can also be destroyed, or the human civilization will also come to an end in ice. We have read about so many ice ages. If we go and look, if you trace the human history and the, humanity when it emerged, and we compare it to the timeline of the earth, humans are very, very recent creatures. Before humans, there were various, animals who are now extinct, and they went, so many life forms were there, and they were all destroyed after, when recurring ice ages. So maybe before the supernova explosion, we will face the ice age, and then our earth will be destroyed, or we humans and other living creatures will be gone because of the ice. So, the poet had a discussion with his scientist friend, and he learned about the destruction of the world in either fire or in ice. And Robert Frost also was influenced. Frost was also influenced by Dante's Divine Comedy, especially with the chapter where he talks about the hell. That part of the book is titled Inferno. So he was very much influenced by that poem, that work by Dante, and also the influence of scientific talk about the destruction of the world in either fire or in ice. He took both these words to be, he took both these words as symbols and discussed his ideas about them. Now this is a very concise poem, very short, 9 lines to be precise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can see that it is only 9 lines. It is a poem of 9 lines. As a matter of fact, Dante's chapter Inferno also talks about the circle of hell, and there are 9 circles in the hell. So I'll not go into that poem right now. I'll be focused on this one itself. So let's understand, let's analyze the poem. Let us first discuss the lines of the poem. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. So I have discussed just now that some people think that the world will be destroyed by fire, while other people think that it will end in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire, but if it had to perish choice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So let us see what he is saying. He is saying about desire. He says about desire. Okay? Desire. The writer says that from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Favor and hold. So the writer says that I have tasted desire. I have known passion. Desire refers to passion. Desire refers to our love and all kinds of all passions that we feel. Desire, fire is the symbol of passion. If you go, even in Hindi literature or Sanskrit or all over the world, I will not say I have not read the literature of various parts of the world, but then English and Hindi literature and a little bit of Sanskrit literature, fire always symbolizes desire, passion, hunger. So if you are hungry, that is also in Hindi there is a word Agni or Mandagni. If somebody is not feeling hungry, that person is suffering from low fire. If somebody has fire, so fire encourages you to work. Fire encourages you to get up and go and work and achieve things. So wings of fire. We have read even this book Wings of Fire. What does fire remind you of? Fire reminds of passion, a desire to acquire, a desire to get something, a desire to achieve something. And for frost, that is a better way to get consumed in your passion, to get consumed in your desire. The world will, maybe, perhaps the world will end in this desire. Now right now all the people of the world, we are all desiring to achieve development. We want more and more, and where are we heading, and why do we want to learn about various universes? Why do we want to learn about universe, stars and other things? This is also desire, a fire within us to know, curiosity. So right now, why are we working? What is our motivation? Our motivation is to work and achieve something. So that's why the writer favors, the poet favors fire, and he holds with those who favor fire. Okay? He stands. I hold with those who favor fire. He stands with people who favor fire as a method of destruction, because fire for him is passion. Fire for him is desire. Fire symbolizes a desire to achieve, desire to love, desire to acquire things, and this is for him a much better way to die or to perish. Perish means being destroyed. Okay? But if it had to perish twice, because he still doesn't agree that it will just end in fire or not end in fire. He wants fire to be there, and that's why he says if it had to perish twice, not the first time. First, it will be destroyed by fire. That is his first, precedence. But if it had to perish twice, if again the world has to be destroyed, if it could be destroyed twice, then not the first time. It's a very tricky line. If it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. He says that I know that the earth will end in fire, and he wants the earth, if it has to end, it should end in fire. He doesn't want to stop working and stop loving and stop desiring things, and he doesn't want world to go cold. Ice. Now let's talk about ice. What does ice signify? Ice stands for coldness. Might have heard of this thing. He was very cold to me. Warm welcome and a cold attitude. Warm refers to happiness. Warm refers to giving a sense of warmth, desire, passion. And ice, on the other hand, is cold, very unpleasant. Ice is an unpleasant thing. Actually, warmth is good. Ice is unpleasant. To say that for destruction, and he says that I have tasted of desire. I know desire, and I also know enough of hate. I know enough of hate. I have also hated maybe somebody, or I know how people hate, and how hatred can also lead to destruction. Hatred can lead to destruction of people, like war. Why do we have war? War also happens in a very, very cold state. That yes, in hatred also the world can end. In hatred also the world can die. But it will be better if it gets consumed in desire and fire, because that will be at least something where we will be oblivious of some happenings around us, and we will be so involved in our passion, we will be so involved in our desire, in our achievements, in our love, in our relationships, passion, that we will not realize the end. We will be actually enjoying the warmth, the pleasantness of our society. And fire will also be very quick to destroy. So there are various ways in which favoring fire is better than hoping for hatred or ice to destroy the world. Obviously nobody hopes for the destruction of the world, but then if you have to make a choice, how are you going to see the destruction? What will be the better way? Ice will not be a great choice for the writer, because it will be slow, it will be cold, it will be painful, and it will have no passion, it will have no pleasure, because hatred is not pleasure. Although hatred is also a kind of passion, but it is going to hurt you. Desire, on the other hand, will consume you slowly, but it is going to give you pleasure. So, the writer says that ice will also be sufficient for the destruction of the world, and in both ways the world can be destroyed. And I hold with those who favor fire. So, the writer sides with those. If he has to vote, he will go with people who favor fire as a means of destruction, rather than saying that ice is okay. Now you can see that perish twice. Okay, if it had to perish twice. So, writer, even if he says that ice will suffice, he is saying that it is when it can end twice. However, nothing can end twice. Okay, so writer is actually with fire only. Alright, now let's analyze the poem a little. Let's see the form of the poem. This poem consists of 9 lines, and you can see the design of the poem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whenever he is talking about desire, his lines are having more syllables, whereas the other part, when he talks about ice, it is having few syllables, and then there are 9 lines in the poem. Let us see the rhyme scheme of the poem. Let's talk about the rhyme scheme of the poem. So let us assign A to fire, B to ice, again desire, fire, so desire and fire again will go with A, toys, B, hate, C, ice, B, great, C, and then again suffice, B. So, what is the rhyme scheme now? Let's check. A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B. Okay. So A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B. Fire, desire, fire, ice, toys, hate, great, ice, toys, ice, and suffice. Okay, so A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B. This is the rhyme scheme of this poem. Let us see any other literary device used. Let's talk about alliteration. Alliteration, you all know what is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sound. So let us find out if there is alliteration in this poem. Okay, let's check for alliteration. So, some say the world will, and in fire, some say in ice. So, there are various examples of alliteration here. S, okay. world will. Ice. For what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish choice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Now I have already said that the repetition of consonant sounds is known as alliteration, and there are various examples of alliteration: favor, fire, some say, world will, and in fire. And there is the use of assonance also. Assonance, okay? Let me write. Assonance. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. Okay, assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. And vowel sounds are also repeated here. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those, okay, hold with those, who favor fire. If it had to perish choice, okay, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So there are three literary devices used. More are there, but let's stick to three right now. Another is symbolism. Let's talk about symbolism. Symbolism means use of words as symbols. So fire, as I said, fire stands for passion, fire stands for desire, fire stands for, and writer has also made it clear, fire stands for desire, and you can see here, he has written desire, fire stands for desire, and ice stands for hatred. He has made this very, very clear in his poem itself, that he has used these words fire and ice as symbols. That is Divine Comedy. So these are some important points here. Writer has been influenced by Dante's Divine Comedy. He has also been influenced by one chapter or one part of the book, that is Inferno. Symbolism has been used. Fire means desire, warmth, lust, passion. Ice means coldness, hatred, indifference. So this way I have tried to explain the poem to you. I hope it has been clear, and I hope if there is any question you will ask me when I take the class in person. Okay.